It's 9:05 at 97.5 Glory FM. Welcome once again to the Saturday Morning Sports Show. And hi, everyone. Welcome once again to the NGPG Sports Center at 97.5 Glory FM. I'm Mike Wofford. I'm with you until 10 o'clock this morning as we bring you high school, college, and pro sports in the local scene until 10. You get a chance to see me work behind the scenes on our YouTube channel at Team Glory Sports. And we'll kick things off today with the high school football state playoffs. Last night you heard here on 97.5 Glory FM, it was North Hall defeating Mount Zion of Jonesboro in the opening round of the Class AAA state playoffs, convincingly 62-26. The final score in the ball game. I'll be talking with Jody Kinney, the statistician for North Hall, later in the program. Also, we'll be talking hopefully with Coach Josh Niblet, the head coach of the Gainesville High Red Elephants. They won their opening round Class Quinte game at City Park Stadium, Bobby Groom Field last night, defeating Dunwoody by a final of 48-3. Also from last night, hopefully get a chance to talk with Coach John Thompson, the assistant coach for Michael Perry, the head coach at Flyer Branch, with the Falcons losing a tough one last night to Ware County in the opening round of the Class Quad A state playoffs, 44-27 the final. And that one still just two teams left here locally, with Gainesville and North Hall advancing to the second round, the Sweet 16 round of the high school football state playoffs. It was Cherokee Bluff falling to a powerhouse down in middle of Georgia, Peach County. Lost that ball game in a big way last night down in middle of Georgia, while it was Lumpkin County falling to Calhoun in their final game in Class AAA, as we know it now, be Class Quad A next year, as Lumpkin County will be going down to classification next year as they took on the powerhouse there in Calhoun, losing to the Yellow Jackets 35-13. Also last night, history was made in Houston at Jackson County after playing football for 45 years, won their first ever playoff game last night as they were victorious over Glen Academy, Glen Academy out of the St. Simons area, and they came up to North Georgia and lost to Jackson County, with the Panthers winning last night 50-7 the final in that ball game. Jefferson, the number one team in Class AAA, they were victorious in their game against Doherty, winning that one. Final score, I believe, was 35-13, maybe 55-13. The final, that one, 55-13, with Jefferson winning that ball game. Class 7A play, Beaufort, no problem at all again for the Wolves there as they defeat the team from Richmond Hill near Savannah, beating them 45-0 from last night. Also around the area, East Jackson loses their opening round game. Also, it was North Forsyth over Forsyth County losing their Class 7 game in the opening round of the state playoffs. West Forsyth gets a big win over Westlake, so the Wolverines, the only team in Forsyth County, advancing to the second round. Lambert lost their opening round game from last night. In Class Quinte play, it was Habersham Central falling to the Statesboro, with the Blue Devils coming up from South Georgia, and they defeat the Raiders 36-28 the final in that ball game. But a great season there for Benji Harrison and his Raiders from Habersham Central. Raven County got a big win last night as they were victorious in their Class A ball game last night. And they get to host a second round game because they were the number 15 seed overall in the tournament, but the number 2 seed was upset last night. Lamar County was beaten by Berrien, so it'll be Berrien coming up to Raven County to take on the Wildcats coming up next Friday night in the second round of the Class A Division I playoffs. And it'll be interesting to see how far Raven County can now go. Next week, we will have North Hall playing host to either the LaGrange Grangers or the North Clayton Eagles. They're playing this evening down at Callaway Stadium in LaGrange. Interesting, there in Troup County, there's just one football stadium that everyone shares. You have LaGrange College, you have LaGrange High, also you have Troup High, and you have Callaway. And last night, Callaway was victorious over Franklin County in Class AA play, eliminating the Lions. So LaGrange will play this evening. So whoever wins that ball game, we expect it to be LaGrange. It'll be LaGrange and North Hall next Friday night here on 97.5 Glory FM, starting at 7:05 with the Long Street Cafe pregame show. Then at 7:30, we'd have the play-by-play of Friday Night Football in North Georgia right here on 97.5 Glory FM. North Hall, the number 2 overall seed, will play all of their games in the state playoffs until you get to the state finals at home there at Lincoln Trail Stadium at the Brickyard at North Hall. And also last night, one of the team in North Georgia that won their game, Stevens County, They advance to the second round, winning their ball game in Class AA play. Coming up next here on 97.5 Glory FM, we'll start talking to some coaches about last night's ball game and the upcoming season. It comes up next here on 97.5 Glory FM. You're tuned to the Saturday Morning Sports Show with a live video stream on YouTube at Team Glory Sports.
There's nothing like cool, crisp air of fall in North Georgia after a hot, humid summer. Conditioned Air Systems is here to get your HVAC system ready for the changing seasons. With regular maintenance that saves you money on your energy bill, and look no further for quick, reliable plumbing repairs or installation services. Conditioned Air Systems has been a trusted name in Northeast Georgia for over 45 years. Call us today at 1-800-AC-REPAIR.
Injuries are never planned and often happen after hours or over the weekend. That's why NGPG Orthopedic and Sports Medicine offers the Black and Blue Walk-In Clinic for injured athletes every Monday morning in their offices in Gainesville, Brazelton, Buford, Bushton, and Jefferson. No need to call. Just walk right in between 8:30 and 11:30 on Monday mornings. And one of their sports medicine and orthopedic doctors will be there to help identify, treat, and care for your injury. To learn more, you may visit ngpg.org/black and blue.
Innovation at Jackson EMC.
To me, innovation is taking technology and doing something new with it.
I'm working with a global company. We're helping them be able to reduce their carbon footprint through some of our programs.
Here at Jackson EMC, we embrace innovation, such as solar power, electric vehicle programs, energy-efficient right choice homes. Jackson EMC, innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow.
And welcome back to the Saturday Morning Sports Show, 97.5 Glory FM. Mike Wofford with you here. We're going to talk to Coach Josh Niblett, the head coach of the Gainesville High Red Elephants, winning their opening round game last night convincingly, 48-3. Hey, Josh.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm blessed, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm blessed. God be the glory, man. We, it's good to get the win and then, have an opportunity to advance and play in the second round. So we're looking forward to it.
So I heard you fell behind last night, 3-0. We kept getting scored. We didn't get an update for a while. All of a sudden, you started going on those scoring rampages, it seems.
Yeah, well, look, it's no excuse, but we haven't been off for 3 weeks. So,
exactly.
The things you worry about is just being sharp, early on. And, when we had an errant snap on the play game and, just trying to get back into the feel of things. And then, once we got to that point, then we started, scoring in all three phases. We had one kid, Boone. Darren Wynn's got 2 pick sixes back to back. We had a fake punt by Jamarion Matthews, one of our defensive ends, that went 60 yards for a touchdown. We got a surprise onside that set up a score. And then offensively, we started getting in a rhythm. And then, it was 41-3 at halftime. And then we came out in the second half, running clock, and defense got to stop. Offense went down and scored. And then we were able to get a lot of guys some opportunities to continue to grow depth on our team.
All right, so tell me about the preparation and having the week off. You had one of those unique situations being the odd man out in your region. You were off the last week of the regular season. You ended earlier than every at Gainesville High on the October 24th. You get the last week off the season. You need that bye week the GHSA had. So tell me about what you did there in those 2 weeks.
Well, the difference is between rest and rust, right?
Sure.
You don't want to rust, but you want to get some rest. You want to try to, because I think we were at our freshest and healthiest, when we started the game Friday, probably since I've been here going into the first round. So, the first week we try to give the kids some time off and, get them a chance to kind of recuperate a little bit. We try to get a couple of really good lifts in the weight room, get a couple of days on the practice field just to keep them in a consistent schedule.
Sure.
But yet, don't have them out there very long. And then the second week, we'll try to give them a little bit of time off at the first of the week and at the end of the week, get a couple of good lifts in, amp up the practice a little bit more. By that time, you kind of know who you're going to play. So, you still want to work good on good, try to get a competitive edge with each other. And then you'll start working on, Dunwoody for us 2 weeks ago. And then And then once we get into this week, we get into our normal in-season game week.
So, you got two things working for you. You got one, the rust part you got to be concerned about, but then you get the opportunity, knowing who you're going to play, 2 weeks to prepare for that team.
Yeah, well, and it's not as much from a coach's standpoint; it's from a player standpoint. Like kids want to play.
Sure.
They don't exactly love practice. That's why you got to keep it competitive, so they have an opportunity to compete against each other where there's a winner and a loser. They're very consumed with winning and losing, so they want to do things, where it's good on good, and so we do a lot of that during those time periods. But then you get an early start on who you're playing. You don't want to start too early, and then you want to make sure that you don't give them false information because you hadn't got all your breakdown stuff yet, and then have to go back and fix stuff. So we just try to take it a small piece at a time, and then that way we're prepared and we're ready to play when Friday rolls around.
All right, so for the day, everybody get a chance to rest and then get back into the next round mode tomorrow?
Well, the coaches will, but the players will still have a recovery day tomorrow. So they'll come in Monday morning. We'll put this game to bed, and then they'll come back Monday afternoon, and we'll start install on Brunswick Monday afternoon and have like a jog-through, walk-through, and then we'll practice, of course, Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning, and then have a walkthrough and then travel on Thursday.
That's what I was curious about. Talking with Joe last night, and it's okay. I guess you're like Hall County. You're out the entire week of Thanksgiving, right?
Yes, we are.
So there you get Friday off, and then you're leaving Thursday. How does that fit the guys when it comes to their schoolwork?
Well, they'll make sure that we have their class stuff covered. Any assignments that they have, they'll be responsible for. But our teachers will know too, because we'll take 2 shifts. So we'll take a group of guys the night before, and then we'll bring a group of guys down the day of the game.
Okay.
So we don't want to, it's hard to travel with that many kids as far as spending the night. So
sure.
We'll take a group down the night before, and then we'll have the other group that'll come down and they'll be there for pregame meal on Friday, and then go through all the pregame festivities like we always do.
So being there in a different place, and you know before, everybody know about you. You're there all day long in Brunswick. How do you get you guys ready for that game?
Yeah, we don't make it an issue, Mike. We don't make it an issue. There's a game to be played, and the difference between is, we'll keep them occupied, but we'll let them get rest, and we'll try to make sure the schedule's set up where people are not stressing out about, when do I get my bags out of my room? Where are we going?
Yep.
Early checkout. So we've done this before, and there's a lot of guys on this team that went to Moody last year. So, it's basically kind of the same trip, maybe a little bit longer. But as far as where we're staying and how we'll go about that, we'll do a really good job and make sure our kids understand what's going on. We'll have some time with them Friday night where we'll probably take them somewhere and do something with them as a team just to let them relax and get away from the game a little bit. And then we'll get up, Friday morning and we'll go eat breakfast. We'll find a place to have a walkthrough. By the time we come back, it'll be time to eat a little bit of lunch. And then, you're starting to get locked in and focused on what you're doing for pregame meal on 3:30. And then, hey, we'll travel over to the stadium and be ready to go.
So for our listeners, I hope there'll be a lot of folks in Gainesville traveling down to Brunswick to watch the Elephants play on Friday night. They didn't.
Well, the good thing about it, Mike, we're going to the beach. So, there's a lot of people that look for excuses to go to the beach. Well, here's your one right here. So, they'll have a great crowd. They feel like this is a year for them. And, hey, we need to have a great crowd, too, there and making sure that, we're supporting these young men, supporting this program. And I know what we're about in our community. So, I expect to see a lot of people at the game.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing a lot of red down there. So tell me, for our listeners, can you compare Brunswick to anybody you played this year?
Well, they're just extremely explosive, man. They've got a really, really good athletes. 3 of their receivers are on their 4x1 team who won state, so that tells you how fast they are. They've got one receiver / tight end that's about 6'7", 6'8", about 285, 290.
Wow.
He's humongous. And so, that'll be a little bit of an issue. They got a back that's really, really good. They could score on any play. They're one of those teams where I mean, they scored 78 points last night. So, you know, you just got to do a really good job and make sure you keep the ball in front. We got to tackle well, put them in some third and longs, no different than what we've been doing all year. It's just, you know, we've got to make sure we do a really good job. We get an opportunity to make a play. We got to go make plays and not give up big plays. And then offensively, you know, we got to be explosive. You know, we got to be able to run the football. When we're doing that, then we kind of dictate the flow of the game. And then when you're in the playoffs, I mean, defense travels and run game travels. And and special teams travel. So those are the three things we got to travel with, and then everything else on top of that is going to give us an opportunity to finish it like we want to.
All right, brother, sounds good. So are you traveling right now? Still got some college football to go see?
No, I'm actually, Sky's in Kentucky today, and so we got our 8U and our 12-year-olds in the Gwinnett Football League playing for championships today. So
all right. I'm
actually headed to Decula High School to watch the 8U, and then I'll come back home for a little bit, and then I'll go back to watch the 12U at 4:45. So anybody out there that's listening and you love Gainesville, then, you know, got an opportunity at 9:45 the 8U play, and then at 4:45 the afternoon 12U play. So looking forward to watching these guys win a championship.
That sounds great. All right, Josh, congratulations, sir. We'll talk to you next time, okay?
Thanks, Mike. God bless you, man, and go Big Red.
Appreciate it very much. Josh Nimblett, the head coach of the Gainesville High Red Elephants, winning their opening round game last night. We're done, Woody. 48-3. They are at home at City Park Stadium, Bobby Greenfield. Now they go on the road, as he said, down to the beach to Brunswick as they take on the Buccaneers coming up on Friday night in the second round of the Class Quinte State Playoffs. Got much more for you coming up next here on 97.5 Glory FM. This is the Saturday Morning Sports Show.
This is Matt Nix, president of Duplicating Products. Our local business has served Northeast Georgia with trusted office equipment and local service support for over 50 years. We're proud to support high school football and proud to help businesses stay up and running with fast personal service. As the region's largest independent Canon, Ricoh, and HP dealer, we offer the industry's best equipment backed by real local people. When your copier or printer goes down, we're there fast. Visit duplicatingproducts.com. We're local and ready to serve you.
It's kickoff time, Gainesville, and Hardy Chevrolet has the winning lineup you've been waiting for. From rugged Silverados to family-ready SUVs, our inventory is stacked for every game. And customer service, it's always first string. Visit Hardy Chevrolet at 2115 Brownsbridge Road, Gainesville, Georgia. Hardy Chevrolet, where you're always part of the hometown team. Together, let's drive.
It's now 9:23 Eastern Time here at 97.5 Glory FM. I tell you what, you can tell the difference with the standard time now. Boy, talking about some football weather. It's a great football weather last night. Gainesville High advancing to the second round of the Class Quinte State Playoffs. You heard Class Quad A play. What a battle it was down at Falcon Field last night with Michael Perry's Flyer Branch Falcons taking on the Ware County Gators out of Waycross. Ware County comes up with a win, 44-27. Joining me now, Coach John Thompson, one of the assistant coaches there at Flyer Branch. Hey, John.
Hey, good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there. A little tired, but the sun came up.
You know, that's what I always hear. He's okay. Win or lose, the sun comes up next day, you know you're blessed from that standpoint. I know you're disappointed, but, boy, what a battle and they had last night. Kept coming back, and just ran out of time, it seemed like.
Yeah, the kids played hard. They played their rear ends off, and you know, for people that don't know, you probably know, Ware County is one of the top teams in the state this year. And technically, they, you know, if you go back and look at it, they probably should have been the region champions. They had Benedictine beat midway through the year, and they ended up not converting the first down, and Benedictine went down and scored with about a minute to go. Other than that, I mean, they had Benedictine. They manhandled Benedictine all game long.
And that tells you how good that region is because Benedictine scored 42 against East Forsyth last night and only let them score 7. That tells you about how good football team they are down in South Georgia.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great region. I mean, Warner Robins, you know, they upset Ware County. That's what pushed Ware into third. But what people don't know is Ware had 5 starters on defense out when they played Warner Robins.
Wow.
And they had to play some very young guys and inexperienced. And, I mean, that makes a difference when you're playing in a region like theirs.
Oh, sure. So you fell behind early, you come back, tie it, and then you get by another 2 touchdown lead. You try to come back again. Then they just kept scoring, it seemed like, against you, John.
Yeah, well, actually, we jumped on them first. We scored first. And
that first possession you had, you got the kickoff, went down and scored first.
We did, and Brett had a great game. You know, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Trey had a receiving touchdown, some big catches. Brooks Rosella, he had a couple of huge third down catches for us that kept the drives alive, and we'd go down and score and make it a 3-point game. And Brooks had 2 huge field goals for us. One would have been good from 50 yards. He just nailed it at one point in time. And you're right. It was a heavyweight fight. They'd hit us in the mouth, and we'd come back and hit them in the mouth, and it was just back and forth. And we had the thing that flipped the game for us. And Mike, I've never seen this before, and I'm not making excuses, but we run speed option down inside the 10-yard line, and the ball goes on the ground, and Griffin Harper, he scoops it up and scores, and they call that an incomplete pass. And I've never seen anything in my life like that. When you're running the option, and that ball's on the ground, it's a live ball. And they called it an incomplete pass, and they ended up getting the ball and turning around and going down and scoring. So that was a huge swing in the game. But you got to overcome things like that too. Wow.
But you got to look at the coach's standpoint. That can really mostly affect the team, can it? We got against a bunch of teenagers.
Oh, absolutely. It took the wind out of the sails of our kids and everything. But I heard Coach Perry tell them, "Hey, you just got to keep rolling. Let's go. We got to go back to work." And,
right.
And the kids did. And our defense played great. Now those 2 running backs and that receiver, all 3 of those guys are Division I guys. One of the running backs going to NC State, and both those running backs are around 6'2", about 225 pounds, and they can fly.
Wow.
Our size-wise, they had the advantage over us and everything, but our kids just fought tooth and nail and played physical. And actually, Dontavius Sapp is their defensive coordinator. I did not know this until before the game started. Dontavius Sapp played for me at Valdosta High School, and he was an all-SEC player at Tennessee. And this is his first year as the defensive coordinator at Ware County. And it's the first time I've seen Dontavius in 17 years.
How about that?
And so it was great to see him. But I tell you one thing, he's done a great job in 1 year with that defense because they're so much better defensively than what they were last year.
So I know it's disappointing here the day after you're looking, okay, now the season's over, and now you look at regrouping, now get ready for the off season. But tell me about the seniors there at Flyer Branch, what they meant to this team, and what they did last year with Coach Tester, and then this year, just turning things around this year.
Oh my gosh, this senior class, it's like Coach Perry told them last night, this senior class has been through a lot. And I'm just going to be completely brutally honest with you. This senior class has had a different coaching staff every year of their high school years. That's tough on high school kids.
Oh, yes, it is.
Other than a head coach for the last 3 years, the entire staff changed for 3 years in a row.
Yep.
And then going into their senior year, the entire staff, including the head coach, changed. Those kids could have tapped out and said, you know what, I've had to live through this for 4 years in a row. I'm just going to go out and play and not worry about it. That was never an issue. These kids, when we got there, they're like, what can we do to flip this script? We're tired of, just being mediocre. And we told the kids, hey, let's buy into the system. We're going to love y'all. We're going to coach y'all hard. We're going to help y'all on and off this field and academically. And y'all buy into that, hey, we'll get this thing turned around quickly and get this thing back to the way Flyer Branch used to be. And they were all like, and back in the spring month, they were like, hey, we trust y'all. We believe y'all. We're going to do what y'all asked us to do. And by gosh, they did. And they might be one of the best senior classes I've been around in 28 years.
And, John, think about it. A lot of times you've heard it in your years, you got to earn trust. But they really bought in from day one, didn't they?
They did, but, Mike, I think it's because the group of men that Coach Perry's put together, they literally care about kids. It's not about us. It's not about, our egos or anything like that. They literally care about these kids. And you can't lie to kids. You know that.
No.
The kids nowadays, they're so smart. They know when you're being honest with them. They know when you care about them as a person and not just giving them coach speak and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the, I think that's one of the biggest things that happened this year was and they trusted us very quickly is they understood that we did care about them, and we do care about them both on and off the field, and we want them to be successful in life outside of football.
All right, so 2 final things for you, buddy. First off is that any of the seniors that you know about they got commitments to play in the next level, and it could be, D2, D3, whatever, but not everybody's going to play Division I on Saturdays. You got some guys looking to go to the next level?
We do. Right off the top of my head, of course, we know Trey's going to have some opportunities. Brett's going to have some opportunities. Brett's going to have some probably double opportunities with football and baseball. Griffin Harper's going to have some opportunities. I know Brooks has got some opportunities. I know Gardner Webb, that he's got something at Gardner Webb coming up. So we're going to have a couple of guys. Prince Rose is going to have a couple of opportunities, we feel like. So, yeah, we're going to have a couple of guys getting some opportunities at some point in time. But, that's the thing about it. We told the seniors last night, hey, we love y'all, your family, you're part of this tradition. You're welcome back anytime, but we're not done with y'all yet. If you want to play at the next level, we're going to get you where you want to go. And then we told the returning players, hey, you got through Christmas and come back in January, it's time to go back to work.
Hey, I'm laughing to myself right now. If you get to a personality, I'm sure you can probably talk to him as his manager. You can get Griffin to be inside a ring somewhere and be a pro wrestler. I mean, that guy's that tough. I know he's going to do the wrestling, because he's going to hit the mat probably this upcoming week, won't he?
Yeah, he will. And then Trey's going to play basketball. My understanding is Trey's going to play basketball this year.
I'm sure Coach Hawkins loves that.
Oh, yeah. David asked me early in the season, he says, is he going to play basketball? I said, David, I'm working on him, buddy. I said, I'm trying. I said, because it will help you, and it's going to help him, too.
Sure.
Keep him involved and everything.
And you see the benefits these guys play in more than one sport, don't you?
Absolutely, and also it keeps their grades up, too, because it keeps them in a system, and
yes,
it keeps
sir.
them on a routine.
Yep. All right, how about the final thing? We know about the dial, the GHSA for the region for next year in classification. Now you got, I guess, Coach Griffin to go ahead and get a schedule for you. But, boy, it's going to be some tough competition again next year, won't there? It
will, region-wise, it will. We picked up Jefferson, and we still got North Oconee, but we pretty much got our schedule set. Coach Perry and Coach Griffin pretty much let me handle the scheduling for next year. And
who you got, John? Non-region-wise.
Well, we can't release it yet. But,
okay, no contract signed yet, right? Okay.
That's right. But I will tell you this: we are going to be playing some local teams.
Okay.
To have some rivalries back in the area and everything.
It's got to help too, because it's like y'all are the odd man out, and it's like, okay, besides us, it's difficult to keep up with Fly Branch, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. And the thing is, with the new rankings next week, we had to be very, very careful how we schedule.
Sure.
Because, and I don't mean disrespect to anybody, but and it's not just us. We all, going forward, are having to be very careful on how we schedule and who we schedule based on the power rankings that's coming forward for everybody in all 7 classifications next year.
So you're the man that did that schedule. I know that, man. That's looking forward to that. We'll talk off the record about that a bit later on. It's going to be a lot of fun. But now you get ready for basketball. I'm sure David Hawkins is ready for basketball and also wrestling, getting ready for that. So all season's going to be a lot of fun. So what you got next for you?
Oh, I tell you what, I'm just excited to be back at the branch. And, hey, I want to throw this out. Our girls' cheerleading competition team had to compete for the state championship yesterday. down in Macon, and then drive all the way back up to the game last night.
Oh, wow.
And
how'd that do?
They ended up, their goal was to be in the top 10, and they ended up in the top 10.
Super.
So,
way to go.
Yep. So all our fall sports made it to the state playoffs this year, which is fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
Across the board and everything. And, hey, kudos to the Ware County cheerleaders, too. Now, those poor girls, they had to drive up from Ware County, stop off in Macon, and compete, and then drive on over to the branch. So, yeah, but, hey, Ware County, Mike, brought a huge crowd last night. Those coaches and kids
it's serious down there in the swamp, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And I told some of the boys, I was like, guys, this is South Georgia coming to North Georgia now. I said, they closed down shop down there, and they travel.
Yes, sir.
And they did.
All right, John. Man, thank you. I appreciate all you do for me. I appreciate it very much, man. Have a great time. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Y'all have a great weekend. Thank you for everything you do for all of us, and y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. That is John Thompson, the assistant football coach there at Flowery Branch. I tell you what, I love it. He is the man when it comes to logistics to schedule everything together. And thanks for him joining me all season long talking about Flowery Branch football. Coming up next, we'll talk with Jody Kenny of North Hall. We'll talk about last night's ball game that you heard here on 97.5 Glory FM. It comes up next here on the Saturday Morning Sports Show with a live video stream on our YouTube channel at Team Glory Sports.
Siphon Logistics' commitment is to provide you, the customer, with on-time pickup and delivery every time. Members of the Siphon family have been in the transportation business since 1984. The Siphon Logistics transportation professionals are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, providing maximum flexibility and options to produce the most successful shipping arrangements. Call Siphon Logistics at 770-287-8485 and take a look at their website at siphonlogistics.com.
Hey folks, this is Jeff Dale. Wanted to welcome you to Friday Night Football in North Georgia. The game is on tonight. I wanted you to know I'm in the game with an HVAC business called Optimum Mechanical. We specialize in residential and commercial HVAC. Service, replacement, new construction. Let us help you on your next project. Optimum Mechanical, 678-780-7251.
97.5 Glory FM, your home team for North Georgia sports. Let's go to the phones once again and talk to Jody Kenny of North Hall. Last night, Trojans winning 62-26. Really want to talk to you about, Jody, it's just, again, record-setting night for the Trojans.
Yeah, another record-setting night. Most points scored in a playoff game ever. I mean, we almost hit 600 yards. I got to look at. I got to go dig up. I think that might be a yardage record in the playoffs too.
It is, yeah.
Like I said, I was going through everything last night, and had some great individual milestones. Cole Cable went over 1,000 yards for the season and 2,000 for his career. Alex Schliemann went over 3,000 yards passing for the season. Walker Vining, one record I did look up, he actually set a record for most kicking points in a game with 14. That's a new record. It's a fun team to watch, but keeping up with the numbers on these guys is getting to be a chore.
Oh, no doubt about that.
In a good way.
And if you heard our intro last night, I tried to get a touchdown for many different people who scored this year. It took about 5 minutes to hear the different calls from Joe because everybody gets involved with the offense in this high-scoring attack we have.
Yeah, it is. Pender asked me last night, he goes, how many guys caught passes? I said, only 7 this week. And we were laughing. But that's pretty typical. We did have 7 different players catch passes last night.
There's one stat that is just really amazing to me. Here we are now, 11 games in the season, and Walker Vine's only punted the football 8 times.
Yeah, and I was, my son Nathan was in the booth over there last night, and I mentioned to him. I said, you punted once against Jefferson as many times in that game as Walker has punted all season. And he goes, really?
Uh-huh.
and I said, yeah, you had, and it was the first game of the season. So yeah, there was 1 year he had punted more in the first game than Walker had the entire season. Which is and Walker's averaging 39 yards a punt. But anyway, it's like I said, it's a lot of.
Well, last night's ball game, Jody, is that we thought it was going to be a short night last night, just about 28-0, but then they hit the long ball that Coach Pender told me about, how athletic they were, and that quarterback could play for anybody.
Yeah, I mean he is dangerous once you let him out, and we had to be. We did a little better job in the second half of containing him when we blitzed him, and not letting him get loose, and cut down the numbers on that. And we want to make him throw.
Do you keep the defensive numbers out? I know you do offense, but the defense is a lot tougher. But boy, I tell you, those fourth down plays that we had, stopping them, I mean, it could really change dramatically if they got those first downs.
Yeah, we've got some objectives we track, and some of them are a little sound a little weird, but it's key little benchmarks that we track, and on defense, one of them is called the get six, and in every game on defense, we want to have at least 6 defensive possessions where we either get a turnover. A turnover, a takeaway, a turnover on downs for a 3 and out.
Sure.
And typically, those typically we're pretty successful on defense if we get 6 of those possessions in a game. And last night we did. We had 3 turnovers on downs, 2 takeaways, and a 3 and out. They did. They found some ways to hurt us, and because those. Some of those receivers, they weren't just fast; they were long, and so
So you had anybody going down to the Grange in it, the scout?
Not that I've been told. We didn't really discuss it last night. Everybody's still focusing on us, but we already have some film. So we may just focus on watching the film, and it's.
But hey,
it's not like we haven't
North
seen
Hall fans hear the word LaGrange, they think back to last year, don't they?
Right, they do think back to last year. Hey, anybody in the state does. And if you didn't see that game, I mean, obviously we're glad to know that Malachi Render-Fannin is safely tucked away in Lynchburg, Virginia, and that young man can't hurt us anymore. But
so there's a better chance of winning next week. What we're saying, right?
Well, the thing that people forget is we had opportunities ourselves in the first half.
Yes, we did.
And we squandered. We left a lot on the field in the first half and got behind. Baseball that way. We had well over 200 yards of total offense in the first half against LaGrange last year. We were in the red zone. I think we got down the red zone at least 3 drives and came away with 3 points. That was, we wasted opportunities.
The one stat I know you're working on that we got to get down to as close to 0 as possible is the total number of penalty yards. Because last night it was just everybody, both teams, back and forth.
It does, and we do. There's no question we do. But I've told people, I said a lot of what makes this group special, as far as mindset and mentality, is they don't back down. And so when the other team starts turning into a street fight, we don't exactly resist it. And that's sometimes we need to show a little better judgment about that kind of thing.
Good point.
But our guys are not going to just stand there and take it. And they've got we say we joke around sometimes. We wear black helmets for a reason now. We're not.
Good guys wear black, though. Okay,
we don't always try to. We don't always try to be. We'll wrestle with things. I mean, it's just. But yeah, this is the same guys that last year won all those tight games, and they do it because they don't back down from anybody. And so when a game degenerates, gets out of hand, and gets a little chippy, they're not. Yeah, they're gonna take their shot back.
The goal now is to play the day after Thanksgiving. That's the next goal is to get past whomever is either North Clayton or Grange, either one. And I know you got to film on both of them, so we'll get ready for that. We'll find out Monday morning, and we'll be ready to broadcast the game next Friday night. Thanks for your help, man. We'll talk to you then, okay?
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks always. It's Jody Kenny, North Hall, with another record setting last night, winning 62-26 over the very good football team there from Mount Zion and Jonesboro. They finished here at 4-7, and talk about how athletic they were. It was North Hall with a big win, winning 62-26. Coming up next, we're going to turn our attentions to college and pro football. We'll talk with Harper LaBelle and Dave Cohen. Coming up next on the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM.
Ever feel like your house is just missing a little something? Custom window treatments can go a long way to making your house feel like a home. Call Millie's Drapery and Decorating today for the best in custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. We can schedule for one of our designers to come out to your home, take measurements, and give you an estimate right there on site. That's Millie's Drapery and Decorating, 1732 Cleveland Highway in Gainesville, or give us a call at 770-532-3819.
Here I am on the road again, ready to pick up the kids from school, go by the grocery store, and do all the things a busy mother does. It's because I just left North Hall Tire and Wheel, where they made sure I was ready to go. They put on a fresh set of tires, checked the brakes, and even the battery. I know I can trust Mike and Matt and the guys at North Hall Tire and Wheel. They have everything you need, all the name brand tires at the best prices, and the service you need. They're on Cleveland Highway in Gainesville, so give them a call at 770-297-5308.
And back on the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM. Mike Wofford with you now. We talk with Harper LaBelle, our play-by-play partner on high school footballs on Friday night. I think we had a lot of fun last night, Harper.
Boy, I counted 33, Mike. And I missed a few of them because there was a couple where they picked them up after a holding penalty, and then there was a personal foul on these guys, and then those guys, and then whatever. But if you think of how, I'm going to use just the first word that pops into my mind, a sloppy game like that, you still score 62 points and win.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah. So I'm on the bandwagon that even though there were a couple things that happened, I think Parker Carlton got hurt, Cole Cable was hurt, Smith McGarvey kind of tweaked some things. After a week off, you see how fragile, and that's probably the wrong word too. They're not fragile, but I'm just saying there are some things that are weaker than normal, and one little irritant can really be disruptive to a guy's physical health. And at this point of the year, you don't get any more time to rest. You got to give everything you have and get ready for next week. And we'll find out tonight who they play, but congratulations, North Hall.
Absolutely. So you take that to the next level. College football, you see there's so many games to watch today, and you'll be down with Dave at Center Park Stadium to see the Georgia State team go up against Marshall. You really don't know what to expect anymore, it seems like, because you don't know who's going to be on the field and how things, transpire from that point. Then on Sunday, tomorrow, it's like, okay, the way things are even off the field, it's like, okay, how that affects how a team even is presented out there. And you really don't know what to even expect anymore, do you?
Well, there's a lot there. First and foremost, Dave's probably been camping there. He's probably got the keys to open up the stadium right now, and he's getting ready to send me a text. Well, you better hurry. Traffic could be bad.
No, he's going to say, hey, get on the phone with Mike. I got to talk, okay? Yeah.
I know. And he's probably got a smile on his face listening for his cue. The depth issue in high school versus college is completely different.
Sure.
In some cases, like Mount Zion had, 41, 42 players on the team, and if two of them go down, especially if they're seniors, you're in a world of hurt.
Sure.
At the college level, you've got, here's my issue is how much time do you give the backup during practice? You got to tell him he needs to be ready at all times, and he needs to look you square in the eye and go, I think I am, Coach. I know I am. There's a difference between those two words. I think I can, or I know that I'm ready to go. But if he's not in during practice, you can't really tell. When do you stick him into a game? You have to if the guy gets hurt. In the pro level, just to briefly hit on that, you're only going with, 53 on the roster.
Yep.
And your depth is always an issue. There's no third string in many cases. There's you and the other guy, and that's it. So always being ready to go. Absolutely. It's been that way for a million years. Next man up, whether it be in a game or in battle or, just as a homemaker. When mom is down, dad's got to take care of the kids. So a lot of different ways of looking at it. But it is a time of the year where, if you don't have any injuries, just knock on wood, thank your lucky stars, and pray to God and say thank you for us being as healthy as we are right now.
So with that, Harper, as we get ready to wrap up the season here for the college season at the end of November, pro will go into the first of the year, but it's like the grueling aspect of this sport for the colleges. They got the pressure now of trying to be one of the top 12 teams in this playoff system we have right now, trying to be competitive in your conference, trying to be, show the best thing you can for your home fans. All this pressure, then being a student athlete, only knowing and it's like, okay, the focus level they got put on a game on Saturday, people have to realize all that goes into this getting ready for a game on Saturday.
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to tell you a story. David Pollock, when he was playing at Georgia, and obviously an All-American, and before he broke his neck, he was a great pro, and he told the story about there was one year where Georgia went to a bowl game, and it wasn't the Tax Slayer Bowl, but it wasn't the Orange Bowl, right? It was just it was a bowl game, and he knew the night before a couple of guys were going to go out, and they didn't care. They kind of checked it in. It was a long season, and it wasn't an important game, and they played like it the next day. They should have beaten whoever they played, and it wasn't their best outing. Let me put it that way. With the pressure of financial addition to the school, of getting into the playoff and being a part of that process, how do you monitor or pace some of these kids so that they're ready every week to give everything that they have in a world where they've never had to give it for 14, 15 weeks, 16 in some cases? It's a lot.
Yes,
so,
sir.
And you know that. I'm just saying,
sure.
I'm not asking anybody to pat anybody on the back and say, oh, poor you, bless your heart, right? Bless your heart. But that's what you sign up for when you go to a Clemson or a Alabama or a Ohio State University. That's part of it, and you got to be ready.
Well, you mentioned the games. High school 10-game regular season, and you got another 5 games to win a state championship, and that could be a grind that these young guys as teenagers may not be prepared for. And then colleges, now you're playing a 12-game season. Now the playoffs, you'll probably play, 14, 15 games the way it works for it right now. The same thing. Pro level, tomorrow, you're getting paid for this. This is your job from that standpoint. And a lot of times from the emotion, when you got guaranteed contracts, that kind of thing, big concern tomorrow, I think, for Falcons fans, you're playing a team that blanked you in Charlotte a few weeks ago. Now it's okay. If the same thing happens tomorrow and that losing streak continues, you got to look at yourself and say, okay, who's responsible? Is it me? Is it the coach? Is it the owner? You got to take stock in your own self, don't you?
Yeah, there's so much to that, Mike. And I remember, June Jones' first year as a coach in Atlanta, and Frank Gans as a special teams coach. And Frank said, gentlemen, our goal is to make it to the championship game. And he spoke about that nearly every day, but he called it the championship game. He didn't call it the Super Bowl. There's a difference. When I went to Green Bay, every single day when we started practice, when Mike Holmgren had a meeting, he was, gentlemen, our goal is to get to the Super Bowl. So he kept planting seeds all throughout. When you're in a high school level, 15-0 is what North Hall has been doing, right? That was their goal.
Yep.
They set that aside from themselves, and they're pretty dang close to it. They're 11-0 right now. Good for them. You have to see the end, and as you get closer to it, it changes sometimes. When you're Mount Zion and you've lost 4 or 5 games, you're not going to get there. Our goal is to win our first playoff game in 20 years. That's a different goal, and it's good. It's a nice goal. It may be perfect for them, but it's not the goal that North Hall has. So everybody has to kind of take ownership of what they want to do collectively, how hard they want to work in the preseason when it's hot in the summer, and now when it's cold here and changing weather, what can you do to make sure you play your best? And at the collegiate, the pro, or even the high school level, Every team is a little bit different in how they view it, but they all have that one assertion that they're trying to reach. And how they do that is players and the coaches and moms and dads and family members. So everybody's involved with this.
Yep, it comes out of character a lot of times too. You know, what kind of character do you have, and what kind of foundation do you have, and how much are you going to give every time? You got to give your best every play, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not saying you're taking off any plays, but there are times where you have to give everything that you have. Take a couple of deep breaths, get back in the huddle, and do it all over again. But that's what the game demands, and the sacrifice for all you have to give up in order to make that happen. I know there are a lot of guys that don't have girlfriends during the season in high school because, one, they're too shy to ask anyone out, but two is they don't know how to give that time up to have a relationship that's the same with your family. When you're spending 4 or 5 hours a day focusing on football, either practice or film study or just what you're doing to make sure that you can be ready for the next practice and having meetings with your coaches or your team.
And even Harper Bell and Dave Cohen sacrificed so much to be they're the best broadcasters as possible. Our team here at 97.5 Glory FM. We got the Panther pregame show this afternoon at 1:30. Kickoff will be at 2. We'll talk to you then, Harper, and we'll talk to Dave coming up next. Appreciate it very much. We'll see you on Friday night, hopefully, okay?
Yep. All right, Mike. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.
Appreciate it very much. We'll see if Harper can join us. I know he's going to Troy next weekend with Dave to broadcast Georgia State football. So coming up next, we'll wrap things up with Dave Cohen previewing our college football game. It comes up next on the Saturday Morning Sports Show.
EMC Security.
Hey, it's Coach Mark Richt here. Everyone knows defense wins championships. And if you're not using EMC Security to defend your home and family, you need to step up your game. With EMC Security's no contract and local service, they are a clear number one. So give them a call or visit them online at emcsecurity.com. That's emcsecurity.com.
EMC Security. Smart protection for a safer tomorrow.
It's flu season in North Georgia, and now is the time to take care of yourself and get your flu shot at Riverside Pharmacy. Nobody wants to be hit with the flu bug, but if you haven't had your shot yet and you've been bitten with the flu, the pharmacists at Riverside Pharmacy in Gainesville can help you too. They can fill your prescription with expert care and have you up and going before you know it. And they're your headquarters for all of your over-the-counter needs. Riverside Pharmacy across the street from City Park, serving Gainesville for over 60 years.
And back now on 97.5 Glory FM. Basically, your 2-minute warning here. We're going to just preview a game because you'll hear the deep dive this afternoon at 1:30 of the Panther pregame show as Dave Cohen is getting ready for that broadcast. Hello, David.
Good morning, Mike.
All right, so you're getting ready. Last home game, regular season. What does it mean to the Panthers?
Well, senior day, as Del McGee told me Thursday when we recorded this pregame show, so they'd love nothing better than to send the 19 or 20 seniors out with a win in their final home game. But what you've got with Marshall, two teams desperate to get in the win column. Georgia State at 1-8 and 0-5, and Marshall comes in on a 2-game losing streak. They've lost back-to-back games to Coastal Carolina and James Madison, and they're 4-5 and 2-3. So, both teams playing with that sense of urgency. Marshall trying to keep pace in the Sun Belt East. Georgia State, Mike, just trying to get in the win column.
Well, we talked there with Harper about even how banged up this team is at Georgia State and who's going to be out in the field today.
Well, that's a good question, right? Starting right at the top at quarterback, Cameron Brown shaken up in the first half of the Coastal Carolina game last week. Questionable for today. If he doesn't go, T.J. Finley would get the start. Christian Veyer would be the backup.
And so you got to have confidence in your backups. You can't say, okay, now we just not going to win because Cameron Brown's not in there. You got to have enough confidence, guys. Okay, hey, we can win with whoever's out there playing quarterback for us.
Well, whether or not they can get the win or not, Finley has been here since May. Started a number of games in the intermediate portion of the season. Christian Veyer, remember, going all the way back to Ole Miss, was the starting quarterback in the opener in Oxford and was here last year. So, he does have that luxury of whether it's TJ, whether it's Christian Veyer, or whether Cameron Brown's ready to go. I mean, they've got experience at the QB position.
All right, man, have a great broadcast. This is 97.5 Glory FM, WGTJ, Murrayville, Gainesville, W248DL, Murrayville, Gainesville.
California's new